Hi guys, I'm Mrs. McDonald. I'm really sorry that I'm not with you this week, and this is really odd talking into a camera instead of talking to you guys. But I wanted to at least introduce myself virtually, if nothing else. I have no idea who's in the classroom right now, and I won't until I come back. But some of you I may have had already for subbing, or I may have seen you floating through the halls. If not, and you've never met me, this is me. So we're going to hang out for the next 6 weeks together. I do want to apologize for not being there this week. I'm actually right now in Las Vegas presenting research that goes along with my dissertation for the doctorate that I'm getting. So that's why I'm not with you. And that was scheduled, unfortunately, long before I knew I was going to get to hang out with you guys. So I wanted to have you actually be able to see who you're going to be with for the next couple weeks. I've also left videos with lectures and things like that I've created, so that this way you're still getting information from the book and you're getting information from me, just more in a virtual sense instead of in person, which again, I apologize. As far as next week, when we get into week 2, while I'm with you guys, I'm also still simultaneously teaching in the hygiene department. So I will be back with you guys on Monday morning of week 2. But in the afternoon, Miss Healy is going to hang out with you, because then I got to run over to hygiene to hang out with them. But once we hit Wednesday of week 2, I am all yours, and I'm, knock on wood, I'm not going anywhere. So I wanted to say hi. I'm really glad that I get to hang out with you guys. I've not really switched the class up, but I've made some changes from what's been done in the past. So I don't know what you know of this course based on previous friends who may have taken it, but I am not, you guys are not going to just be by yourselves doing this the entire time. A lot of this class is independent work, but I'm also going to incorporate some lecture into it so that you can really actually see the purpose and meaning behind EMR within an office, and how important it is, different things that you're going to need to do as far as documentation and things like that. So what I want to do next is take you through the syllabus, which you should be getting a copy of. If not, that's your cue to pass that out right now. So I'm going to take you through the syllabus, show you some of the different tools that we're going to use. Forgive me if I end up over-explaining them, but I haven't taught in the medical department in a while, so I don't know what programs you're familiar with, and I would rather show you and explain than assume you know and you feel a little lost. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Again, I'm sorry I'm not there with you this week, but trust me, I have left you stuff to do that I will expect to have in my sticky little fingers when I get back. So I'm going to turn the camera so that you're going to be able to see the syllabus right now, and we can go through that page by page just so you're familiar with what we're going to be doing. Okay, so sorry, I just wanted to make sure that this was working. So this is the syllabus that you should have in your hands now, or that you will have in a couple seconds. And I wanted to put my information right up at the top, so this way you knew how to contact me, you know where I'm located, and what our schedule looks like. So we are an all-day class on Monday and Wednesdays. Here is my email address, the kmacdonald@fortisinstitute.edu. When you email me, I will typically get back to you within maybe 2 hours, unless I'm in a class, but usually I spend my class breaks and things like that returning emails. If you don't hear from me for quite a while, and if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, there's a chance that I didn't get the email. For some reason, in our Fortis emails, you don't get a kickback message that there was an error. So really commonly, people end up missing a T or an I in here somewhere. They spell the address wrong. They send it, but then it never goes through. So if you don't hear from me within about 24 hours, double check that you've spelled the email address correctly, and then try and send the message again. My office, which is actually a cubicle, is in room 301. So if you come into the hygiene building near the cafeteria and you find the water fountain, which is near the ladies' room and near Jack's office, if you stand at the water fountain and turn around, I am in the cubicle right next to the photocopier, and that door is always open. You're more than welcome to come up, stop in anytime and see if I'm there. If it's in between classes or you're not sure if I'm there, you're welcome to shoot me a message and just make sure I'm here before you walk on over. We're going to be using LearnBoost for your grades. Again, I had said before, I don't know what programs you're used to using, so I'm going to show you that really quickly. And then we are also going to use an app called Remind. I love using this, and my nursing students and my hygiene students like this a lot. I don't know if you guys use it, but I want to show you how it works. So LearnBoost, this is the web address. Once I get your email addresses, you will get an email from LearnBoost with a personal access code. So LearnBoost, you'll be able to log on. So this is what it looks like. And yours is going to look different because it's just going to be for you. It's not going to be all of these people's names. And these are the only people who I knew were going to be in the class so far. So please, the other 7 of you, don't get offended. I just didn't know who you were. But anyway, this is what it'll look like. All of your assignments are already loaded in here, and they're kind of color-coded. So this is Chapter 1's homework, Chapter 1's homework, Chapter 2's homework, Chapter 2's homework. And what this does is when you log in, once I enter a grade, it will update your overall average based on the weights of these categories, like if it's worth 20%, 10%, whatever, automatically. So let's say that I'm going to use Brianna just because she's right there. Let's say she gets 100 on the first week's homework, but doesn't do too well on the quiz. So she can see her grade. What I'm actually going to do also, that's not what I wanted. You should be able to see the number grade, not just the letter. So I'll double check that and I'll fix that and play around with my settings and things like that. But this should actually show you a number. I don't know why that's doing that. That's why. So that is what you'll be able to see. And that the grading scale that you just quickly saw under my settings, this grading scale and the percentages, they match up with the schools. So this way you don't have to worry about anything being off. So you'll be able to see this in real time anytime that you log on. Once, like I said, once I get the rest of your names, once I get your email addresses, then what I'll do is grant you access so that you can come in and you can see this. I believe that you should have access to your grades constantly, not just through a mid-mod report or through an early alert form or something like that, which is why I like to use this. Usually I really prefer using NGrade, but NGrade's been teasing us. It was supposed to be shut down in December, then it was supposed to be shut down in January. So just to avoid the possibility of NGrade shutting down while we're partway through a class, I just switched over to LearnBoost. It's essentially the same exact thing. Some of the administrative stuff is just a little different. There's no app that I know of on your phone for this, so you would just access this through your web browser. And then we're also going to use Remind, which, like I said, I don't know if you've used this before, but Remind actually is an app that you download onto your phone. And I love this. So this is how you can, these are the access codes to join our class. So if you have a smartphone and you want push notifications, then you would just type this in and follow the instructions. Or you could text 81010, that would be the quote-unquote phone number, and then text this as the message. And that's how you enroll in the class. So what happens is, and you could do it both ways if you wanted, as you guys enroll in the class, the only thing that I see is your name. So I don't see your cell phone number, I don't see your email address, I don't see anything except who you are and whether you signed up for option A or option B. So for this one, when it asks for your first and last name, please actually give me your real name. I've had students before who give me fake funny names, but the problem is that then I don't know who messages are from. So as soon as you join the class, you pop up right here as a member of the class. And actually, while I'm away in Las Vegas and you are signing up, I'll be able to get the alerts. And don't be worried that, oh my God, her phone's going to go off while she's presenting. Don't worry about that. That's my thing to deal with, not yours. So if you're sitting there and you want to join the class right now as you're watching this, then that's fantastic. What this does is, this is an app that is on my smartphone. So what I can do, and I'm going to just show you what I've done with other classes, what I can do is send the entire class a message. So over here in the blue, this was a long time ago, these are the messages that I've sent to students. Like, hey, don't forget to bring X, Y, and Z today. Your quiz is at 8:30. Don't be late because then you'll get locked out. Make sure you bring this. We have a snow delay. Things like that I send out, and then the entire class sees it. But then there's also a really cool option where you guys can individually send me a text message if you want, or what is like a text message anyway. So please ignore these students' names. This was something a student had sewn and she wanted me to see it. Oh no, it was a birthday cake. But anyway, you're able to just talk to me, and it's kind of like we're just texting back and forth, but neither of us know each other's phone numbers, and nobody else sees this. So if you and I are in a chat, nobody else sees it. If you send me one of these private messages, you're only able to contact me, but I'm able to contact all of you. So you don't have to worry about accidentally sending a message and the entire class reading it or receiving it. So I totally love this. And it helps when, if you're running late or if you're going to be absent or something like that. Sometimes this is a lot quicker and a lot easier than logging into your email. So these are the codes once again. And if you need to pause me so that you can see these, that's fine. And I should have a paper copy of these with your substitute. So that you have the codes too. And that's MOA, because that's our course code. It's just lowercase, so just don't think it's MOO. Though that, I guess, would have been pretty funny for Moo. But anyway, so that's how we're going to communicate through the class, is through email and through Remind. Unfortunately, you cannot send me messages through LearnBoost about your grades if you have any questions, but I do really expect you guys to be on LearnBoost and to be checking that for me. Sometimes I might think I'm entering 100 and I accidentally hit 10, so if I enter something wrong, totally call me on it, because you deserve to have the right grade. Okay, so let's scroll past this stuff, because let's be honest, you don't really care what this stuff is. You care about this stuff. So you need a D to get out of this class alive, so that means you need at least a 60. I've created enough assignments in this class that you could completely tank an assignment and still be able to get out of here alive and pass. So you are going to have homework that you're going to need to do. These lab activities, this is going to be where, oh, goodness gracious, sorry. These lab activities that I'm trying to highlight for you, that's going to be where you're doing the in-class work using the EMR program. Yes, you are having quizzes, you are having tests, and your attendance does absolutely count towards part of your grade. So what I did was I cut it up into 24 segments because we will meet twice a week for 6 weeks, which would be 12, but there's technically 2 sessions each day. So that's how I got the number 24, because maybe you're absent for the morning session, but you're there for the afternoon. So each one of these days is worth potentially 100 points. So if you're there the entire day, you get 100 points. If you're there for half the day, you get 50 points. And I hope you can kind of figure out how that works. As far as this distribution of out-of-class time, I didn't calculate that. That was a corporate thing. So this is our week by week of the things that we're going to take care of and the things that we're going to work through. The course outline is, for me at least, a little confusing to look at, especially this stuff. And you can look at this yourself. But what I've done underneath it is I've actually created a calendar for you of your deadlines. So, oops, I didn't want to do that, but I want you to be able to see this. So here's your calendar. Here's where you are today. So we are working on chapters 1 and 2 this week. So your homework for chapters 1 and 2 will be due when you come in at the beginning of Wednesday's class, and we're going to talk about it. Don't panic. Monday morning, this Monday morning on the 6th, that's when I'll be with you guys again. So in the morning, I'm going to do the lecture that I have planned. I'm going to answer any questions that you guys have. So your first quiz, you're going to take in the afternoon session. And then on the 8th, and you'll have me all day starting here, and then as we cruise through, your homework for chapters 3 and 4 are due, and then you'll take quiz 2. Down here on Monday the 20th, we do not have school because it's President's Day. So our makeup day is on Friday the 24th of February. Make sure that you mark that down, because if you miss this day, you will miss a quiz and you will miss points for attendance. So I have something on here about binders being finished and your final exam. So let's talk about let's talk about all of the assignments that you're going to do. Okay, so your homework is the same exact stuff every single week. So if you flip to the end of chapter 1, there is a section called Using Terminology, which I have written here. And there's a section called Checking Understanding. So the using terminology typically is matching, and the checking understanding is typically multiple choice. You have the choice of either tearing these pages out of your book or photocopying them, but you're going to hand them in physically to me. So homework, so for chapter 1, you need to do the using terminology and checking understanding. For chapter 2, you need to do the using terminology and checking understanding. These are the 2 things that you will have to do for every single chapter, every single week. That's how I have them laid out. So when we get to chapter 5 and chapter 6, when I say that homework is due, this is the homework that's due for chapter 5 and for chapter 6. So I will be collecting homework first thing on Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, whoever is going to be with you as the substitute will be collecting your homework for chapters 1 and 2, and then I will get it and I will grade it when I come back. You must physically hand this in. Again, you have the choice of either photocopying the pages and filling them in, or you can just tear the pages right out of the book. Your name needs to be on the pages. They must be stapled, and you must hand them in. You cannot send them to class with someone else to hand them in for you. So if you're absent when the homework is due, you're going to lose points for it being late. If I catch you doing homework during Wednesday's class after you were supposed to have handed it in, then you will lose points for it being late. So if you don't finish your homework by the time that it's due, you still have the chance to turn it in. And honestly, I would rather take late work than give you a 0. But speaking of a 0, let's say I'm in, let's say it's week 1 and homework is due. And we're going to go back to LearnBoost real quick for a second. So let's say Brianna doesn't hand in her homework for week 1 on Wednesday morning when it gets collected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 0 in here. That's my placeholder to show that I never got it. So then let's say she hands it in to me Thursday. So that would be, she's going to lose 10 points for not handing it in Wednesday, and she's going to lose 10 points for handing it in Thursday. So each day she's late is 10 points off. So as soon as I get that in my hand, she will be starting with an 80 and then whatever she gets wrong. So let's say she did get 100 on the homework, but then I deducted the late points. So once I get the homework and I get it graded, I will change the 0 to whatever the grade should be. But the 0 is going to be a placeholder. So especially when you guys are on LearnBoost, if you see any 0s here and you know you didn't fail something, it's because you didn't turn something in. So you want to make sure that you fix those as soon as you see them. And of course, if you have any questions about any of this, you can ask me as we go along the way. Okay, so that's the homework. The lab activities, this I mentioned. I'll tell you what specific activities from each chapter that you need to do, but when you finish the activity, you have to print the activities out. You have to put your name on it and write the date on it. And then the homework and the lab activities are going to go in this course binder that you're going to keep through the next 6 weeks. So I do not care what color this is, what size this is. I'm talking about the binder. I probably would not get a binder that's less than 1 inch wide. So if you have a 3-inch binder laying around and it saves you money to use that. Totally fine. I don't care. It's totally your preference what size, color, all that kind of stuff for the binder. Here are the things that I want. The first page inside the binder must have your full name, and I'm not talking middle name, but don't just give me one that says Janet. It has to have a first and a last name. Please give me your phone number and your email address. The reason for these is just in case I need to contact you for something when I'm grading this. That's the only reason. And then you need to get 7 dividers to put in the binder. So sometimes in other courses where I've had students turn in a binder at the end of the 6 weeks, students have gone to like the dollar store and just gotten a couple packs of dividers and then split them up. I don't care what color the dividers are. I don't care if they are plastic or paper or I don't care. There just need to be things in the binder that separate into sections. Whether you type the names of the sections, whether you can get there are white dividers and then you could just take a marker and write on the white tab. I don't care how you set this up, but there need to be 7 dividers. The first one needs to be labeled homework. So this is going to be the first tab after the page that has your name and your number and your email. After you get your graded homework back, you need to put it in this homework tab. Then you're going to have 5 dividers that are going to be labeled weeks 2 through 6. So one label will be week 2, then week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Then the final tab will be labeled final exam. If you want to wait until I come back on Monday to talk more about this binder, it's completely fine, but if you just read these instructions, you'll be able to create this binder. The idea behind this is that it's going to be a 6 weeks worth collection of your homework and your lab activities and things like that, and then this is what you're going to hand in at the end of the course for me to grade. So for each of the weekly tabs, that's where you're going to be putting the lab activities. So the things that you're going to do in spring charts, those weekly activities, that's what's going to go in here. So for week 2, there are like 12 activities that need to be done. So as soon as you finish one activity, you print out the result, you put your name and date on it, and hole punch it and file it under week 2. And then you'll do week 3, week 4, week 5. And I'll show you this as we keep going. And you want to make sure all the information is in these dividers. The last tab is going to be final exam. The final exam is going to be kind of a comprehensive walkthrough of spring charts. So you'll print that out and stick that in the binder also. Now, as far as homework goes, and as far as all lab activities go, if I find out or if I have any kind of inkling that you guys are copying homework from each other, that one of you is doing the activity in spring charts but printing out 2 copies, that's cheating. I will absolutely not tolerate it. You will automatically get a 0 for every and any activity where this is happening, and that could definitely jeopardize your grade. I do also have to report that to the department chair and Chris Jones, and then he may decide to take any further academic action than I am with the 0s. So I'm expecting you, because you are all adults, to be doing your own work, and you will have more than enough time in class to get it all done. As far as quizzes go, there's going to be 4 of them. They are very short, they're multiple choice, and they will be given as soon as we start class at 9 a.m. I am a very punctual person, so if class starts at 9, you will typically be able to see me in the classroom somewhere at the very latest at 8:45. If you are late or you are absent when I pass a quiz out, you automatically get a 0 and you do not get to make it up. Reasons for that are because, attendance counts, and I got to get you ready for the workforce. So, and you know how important it is to show up for work. You don't get to just miss days of work and then be able to stay employed. So that's why I'm really hardcore on attendance, in case you might not be used to it. But I hope you are. The midterm is multiple choice as well. It's given during week 3. The quizzes and the midterm are going to be based on the chapter readings, so you actually have to read the particular chapters I'm going to ask you to read, and any of the lectures that I give during the class. So anything I say, anything from PowerPoint, and anything from the book will be fair game. If I'm going to do a PowerPoint, yes, I will give you handouts and give you copies so that you can take notes on the PowerPoint while I lecture. Okay, I talked about attendance already. The helpful hints you could read yourself. But as far as meeting with me, my job is to help you succeed. So if there is something that you need, you gotta tell me. Especially if you need to meet one-on-one. And the best way to let me know you need to meet one-on-one is to send me an email, and we can figure out a time that works best for both of us. Sometimes when, in your case, it's different because I'll be with you the whole day. But maybe at lunchtime I need to run and do tutoring while you guys are on lunch, so I can't stay in the classroom and answer the question that you might have at that point in time. Or when class is over, I'm staying for tutoring with students in the other departments. It doesn't, in no way does me running to the next thing mean that I don't have the time for you or will not make the time for you. It's just that I have the next obligation that I have to get to. So if we need to sit down and meet together, usually sending me an email and us picking a time is the best way to do it. If we do have a meeting, I will not blow up your spot and be like, hey, Jane, don't forget we're meeting at 3 o'clock today, because it's nobody else's business. So if you and I agree on a place and a time to meet, and maybe it's in a different classroom so we have a bit more privacy, maybe we might meet at my office. If I just pack my things and leave, it does not mean in any way that I have forgotten about our meeting. It just means that I'm not making it a public broadcast. I hope that you will feel comfortable asking me anything that you need to, even if you're just having problems with time management or test anxiety or anything like that. As soon as you have any kind of problem, please just let me know. And if it's something I can't fix necessarily, then we'll figure out who can fix it, because that's my job, is to watch you walk across that stage. So it's such a teacher cliche. There is no stupid question. I have literally had a student ask me what a skull was before. She was taking an anatomy class and I said, you're going to have to buy a skull. And she raised her hand and said, what's a skull? Dead serious. And I had to dead serious look at her, and the only definition I could come up with was a head without skin. And then she realized what I was talking about, and it's become a really cute joke between she and I now. But if I can handle that question, I can handle anything else you throw at me. Please just do me a favor. When you email me, please do not put the entire email in the subject line, and please tell me your name in the email. You don't have to necessarily tell me what class and what program and all that kind of stuff. But for example, right now I'm teaching 4 Alyssas. So if I know which Alyssa it is it helps. You don't have to tell me the program. That part I remember. But if you give me your name, that's really helpful, because I don't memorize email addresses, or at least I don't make a habit of it. Sometimes it happens accidentally. Okay, so this page you could read yourself. This is about as mushy and gushy as I get. I definitely use tough love, and for those of you who know who I am or have had me as a sub, you know this already. I am never going to call you out to be mean or intentionally embarrass you or make you feel like you're, like an inch big. But sometimes there's going to be things that I need to do to get you back on track. I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to have to give you early alert forms for being absent or for not doing well. And I do give out early alert forms because I have to. I don't want to see you in Chris Jones's office because of an issue that we're having, behaviorally, academically, or anything like that you and I can't get through ourselves. So I will sometimes I need to use some tough love. Anything that you tell me, I promise, stays between us. The only exception that I have to that, there are 2. One might be that you ask me a really awesome question or bring something up that I forgot to address with the class. So the next class, I might say, oh, I had someone ask me XYZ. I won't name who it was, but that's how I'll approach it is, oh, I had someone ask me something. If you choose to blow up your own spot and be like, oh, yeah, that was me, that's your call, but I will not do it. The only other time that I would have to tell somebody else is sometimes you might give me tell me private information, and I have an obligation because I'm a teacher to tell somebody else. If this is the case, or maybe somebody else will be able to help you better than I can. If this is the case, I will tell you that I need to tell so-and-so, and I will explain what might happen from there. So this way, if the other person contacts you, you don't feel like it's out of left field, or that, I've betrayed you, or I've, broken your trust in any way. Please, 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 if I do anything that upsets you, or if I do anything that unintentionally hurts you in any way, I beg you to please pull me aside and tell me. I understand if you might need a day to calm down so it doesn't come out wrong, but I really beg that you tell me in whatever fashion you're comfortable with, whether it's in person or if it's through email, but I want you to give me the chance to apologize. Just like you're going to be kind of learning about me in these 6 weeks, I will be learning about you, and I would never, ever, ever want to do something that would in any way hurt you or offend you or anything like that. So if something like that, God forbid, comes up, please bring it up with me. One, so that I can apologize, and two, so that you can come to my class and feel comfortable, because I don't want you to come to a class where you're not comfortable and you're mad at me and just thinking about that the whole time instead of whatever we're trying to accomplish. And it would never, ever be held against you in your grades. I don't believe in that at all. Okay, so that's the mushy gushy. Classroom policies. Some of these we talked about. So if you are late, if you are sleeping, if you are sitting at your computer on Facebook, if you are texting, if you are on the phone and we are not on break and you are not authorized to be doing any of those activities, I am taking those points off your attendance grade. So if you sit on the phone for 15 minutes, you've just lost 15 points off that attendance grade for the day. Because I not only need your butt to be in the class, but I need your brain to be in the class too. Now, that's not to say that people need breaks, and I understand that. That's why I said if you are authorized to be on a break and you decide to start playing Candy Crush, that's fine. That's how you're choosing to use your break. If I have started class and you are not back from break, you will lose those points from your attendance as well. Again, I am a very punctual person. The only time I am late to class is if another teacher or student has grabbed me in the hallway and I am dealing with a situation. And I can't say it rarely happens, but sometimes it does. So in those cases, consider yourself lucky. If you are absent, you have to email me or send me a remind message prior to the class, and it's up to you to find out what you missed. It would be a good idea to find out from me. If you missed any spring charts activities, you can either try and make them all up in the next class, or you're welcome to come into the computer lab when it's empty and work on them on your own time. We talked about number 5, which is really important, and it's the late policy. For number 6, that applies to the midterm. 7 we talked about. We talked about 9. We are in the computer lab, so our policies state that you cannot have any drinks or food in this computer lab. If you spill it and you break these computers, I cannot save you. I will also not, as far as number 12, I'm not going to fight with your phones. Like I said, if I see you on it and I don't know why you're on it, and I haven't given you permission to be on it, I'm just taking the points off. If you have something going on, if it's your child's school calling or, you know, the water main broke, so the people are coming to the house. So many different things in life happen, and you need to sometimes be checking your phone, or, you know, the babysitter is going to text you. If those things are going on, all I ask is that you give me a heads up, because I just really appreciate that consideration. And then I'll at least know why you're on your phone and not assuming that you're just playing around on it. But I do ask that they are on silent, because even when they're vibrating, people can hear them. When you guys are working on your spring chart activities, if you do want to take your phone out and put your earbuds in and listen to music because maybe you work better that way, I'm completely fine with that. We'll take breaks when we need to. I might kick you out if I find that I need to. If anybody in the class for some reason is not making you feel comfortable, please come talk to me and I will handle it, and we'll go from there. Do not contact me through any means other than the ones that I have given you. Do not show up at my house. Do not contact me on social media. I am not friends with students or graduates or anyone who's been in my classroom, so please don't try. It's a personal boundary. It's nothing personal against you. So the only ways you're allowed to contact me are in person if I'm on campus, though not while I'm in the middle of teaching another class, through Remind or through email. And don't share your LearnBoost codes. Blah, blah, blah. And I strongly recommend not sharing your grades with your classmates at all, because sometimes it can create some icky competition. But, okay, so that's rules and regulations. Basically, if you act like a 2-year-old, I'm going to treat you like a 2-year-old. If we can all act like adults, we'll be good. So, after you have taken the time to read through this syllabus, please do me a favor. I need you to read this last page, rip it off the back of the syllabus. You need to print your name, sign your name, and put today's date, which is the 30th of January. And then please hand this in. You are signing this syllabus so that if you violate any of the things that are written within it and go, but I didn't know, I can wave this piece of paper in your face and say, yes, you did. I've never had to do that in the 7 years that I'm here at Fortis, so I hope to, please don't be my first, basically. I'm going to put that remind code up one more time just in case you wanted to look at that. And the push notifications is something rather new. It used to be either text or email. And I do not handle the fees that are associated with any text messages that you get. And I wouldn't text you guys constantly anyway, so please don't, be worried that you're going to sign up for this and I'm going to text you like every 10 minutes. I won't. Okay, so that's your syllabus. So here's what you're going to be working on this week. And this is the piece of paper that your sub has, whoever it will be in addition to Miss Healy. And this piece of paper will be getting passed out pretty soon. Like I said, please print your name and please print your email for me. I need this for LearnBoost. I need this and to be able to contact you through email as well if I need to. So this week, I have everything broken up as far, so you've already done this first thing, but you do have things planned out from me for the morning and the afternoon up until I come back. So I will get to see you on Monday the 6th in the morning, and then in the afternoon, Miss Healy will be with you again while I finish up my class in dental hygiene. So Again, I'm sorry that I'm not with you. If you do have any questions about the syllabus or anything that I might not have covered entirely, don't hesitate to email me. Even though I'm in Vegas, I will have access to email. It'll just be really limited. So this particular week, it will take me longer to get back to you, but I will get back to you. And like I said, you're welcome, if you didn't already, to sign up for Remind today. And as my phone goes off, my phone goes off. And I will probably send you a message to let you know that I got all of your sign-ons. But like I said, if you need me, get in touch with me this week. Please just keep in mind this particular week it'll take a little bit longer for me to get back to you. But ask me anything that you need to. The stuff that I have you working on while I'm away is pretty decent, meaning it's not too difficult. So today, which should be Monday, if you're watching this, I'm going to have you go through the PowerPoint video that I created for EMR and EHR. And that should kind of be enough. So I think how we're going to work this is the mornings will kind of be lecture and the afternoons will be work or independent work, depending on how the weeks start flowing. So then when you come back to class on Wednesday, and I'm not sure who's going to be with you in the morning, the first thing that's going to happen is that your homework is going to get collected, and then you'll watch the lecture video that I did on meaningful use. When I come back on Monday the 6th in the morning, we will talk about HIPAA, and then we'll see how far we get as far as informed consent and health literacy and some other topics. Because what I just want to kind of really put EMR into context for you within a medical office, as opposed to here, sit at these computers and do these activities, see you later. So I just want to kind of add a little bit more meat to it for you than that. So in the afternoons is going to be some independent work. You are definitely going to have to read chapters 1 and 2. So you are slated to, I gave you time this afternoon to start working on that, and you can start working on your homework. On Wednesday, when Miss Healy's with you, you're going to be in the afternoon, you're going to work through the guided demo. So when you open Spring Charts, there's a demonstration that you go through just so that you can get acclimated with the program. But you don't have to start any of the chapter activities. That won't start until I'm back with you, so that you're not confused, for lack of a better word. Well, I hope this video helped. Again, I'm sorry I'm not with you, but I will see you soon. Bye.